this is going to be phase 12 Saturday. We're going to start off with our activation finisher. So we're starting finisher first today. It's going to be a Tabata style finisher. So we're going to have 5 rounds, 2 exercises we're going to do for 5 rounds each. It's going to be 20 seconds of work with 10 seconds of rest, so a little bit of higher intensity for the finisher to start off here. So 5 rounds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. First thing that we're going to have, we're going to use a band for both exercises, so I can grab a black or red band. First thing is going to be band squats. We're going to grab the band, stand inside of it, and then have it up by our shoulders here. So with this, just squatting all the way down our squat, all the way back up, just adding that little bit of resistance with the band, trying to challenge them a little bit. So just good squats all the way down in our depth, as far down as we can get, and then squatting all the way back up. Like I said, they can use more difficult bands if they want to challenge themselves a little bit more with this. So that's the first thing we're going to have. We do have one modification as well. So if they have trouble with squatting, they can do rack squat. So holding down here, squatting down, and then back up. So that's going to be a little bit easier if they have any knee issues. Otherwise, we're going to do band squat. And really with this, it is important we try to keep a good pace and then try to get good depth on all of our squats. So squats is the first thing. Second thing is going to be band pull aparts. So for this, grab the band straight out in front of us. Arms are straight, going all the way out, and then back together, all the way out, and back together. So with this one, we just want to make sure we're keeping those arms straight the whole time, and then we're controlling the band back. We don't want to be letting it pull us back. So just control them. Do try to challenge them to use a harder band. They are a little bit shorter rounds, so try to challenge them with that one, and again, keep a good pace going with those. All right, so that is going to be finisher. We have band squats, and then the band pull aparts. 5 rounds, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. That's going to be the activation finisher at the start of the workout.
For the main workout today, we will be doing straight sets for 4 rounds. We will be working for 30 seconds and resting for 20 seconds with a 1-minute transition in between.
All right, so the first thing we have is going to be over here. You're going to have the Landmine deadlift. So what we're going to do for this, we have the bars set out here. We're going to have weight on them, just like regular deadlifts. We've done those, but we're going to be doing it with the Landmine here. So first thing you want to do, come to the bar. We want our feet about shoulder width. We want the end of the bar to be about right in line with our ankles here. So right about there, ankles right in the middle of our foot. Then what we're doing, knees slightly bent, hips back, grab the bar. This is our starting position. Then what we're going to do, stand up, nice and tall, all the way up here, then down, rest the bar every time, up, all the way, down, rest the bar every time. So with this, most important thing is just get those hips back all the way, keep the back flat there, and then we want to make sure they are resting it in between. So make sure they're setting it down. They don't have to reset their grip, but they can. It's a good way to help remind them to actually rest it on the ground. With this, we want to try to challenge them to go heavier. People will probably underestimate themselves, so try to encourage them to go a little heavier if they can, and push themselves to lift a little heavier weight at this station. All right, that's the first station. The second thing we have is going to be over here on the rubber. First, the thing we're going to have here is going to be Arnold Press. So we're going to grab 2 dumbbells. We're going to have 1 in each hand. We're going to have them in facing us, so palms are in, right by our shoulders. Then all we're doing, pressing up overhead, turning the weight, and then back down, turning it in, facing towards us. So it's just like a shoulder press, but we're turning the weight in towards us when we come down, and turning it away from us when we come up. With this, not super complex. We do want to make sure we're getting our arms all the way overhead, and then we do not want to be leaning. So watch out for people who are leaning, and just keep that in mind. If they are, probably means they're going a little too heavy. Just try to challenge them to have good, nice, tall posture, and then press all the way up overhead with that. All right. So that's this one. Is there a modification for this one?
Curls.
Yeah. So if they cannot do overhead, the modification we're going to have is going to be dumbbell curls. So alternating sides, just curling up with the weight. Again, that would be only if they cannot go overhead. With this, we just want to make sure that we are not swinging the weight. So keep it here. But again, that would be only if they can't go overhead. Otherwise, we're doing the Arnold Press for this station. Next thing we have is going to be over here. We're going to have Bootstrappers. And we are going to weight these. We're going to have some kettlebells set up over here to weight them. What we're going to do, get down in our deep squat position here. We're going to hold the sides of the kettlebell like this. Then for weight Bootstrappers, grab the hips up and back down, just like this. With this, they can go quick. Just keep it under control. We don't want them to be swinging the kettlebell. Right, we don't want that. We want to keep it here, just down and up. But they can go quick with this one. Do encourage everyone to weight it. They don't have to go super heavy, but we want to try to challenge them a little bit if we can over here. All right. So that is the next station. What's the modification for this one as well?
TRX squat.
Yeah, so if they have trouble with bootstrappers, we'll have some TRX set up over here for the next station. They can come over and grab one of those. Do a TRX squat. That would be only if they can't get in the deep squat position. Otherwise, we are going to keep them over here doing bootstrap. All right. So this is the third station. Fourth station will be over here. We are going to have TRX chin ups. So for this, we have the TRX set up here. It's going to be a little shorter. Before we begin the movement, we want to make sure that the handles are the right length, so their arms are all the way extended. So for me, this would be a good length. We do not want them to be partially bent or anything or hanging from the ground. So try to help them out if you need help with that. A couple different difficulties for this. The easiest version, feet are going to be, or knees are going to be bent. Harder, one leg will be extended, and then hardest will be both legs extended. What we're going to do, have our hands facing in towards us, eyes straight ahead, all the way up, and then all the way back and down. So we're pulling all the way up and down here. With this, we just want to make sure we're not leaning back, turning into a row. We don't want to be chasing with our chin. So what we want to look for to help prevent those two things is keep the eyes straight ahead. So good cue to give them eyes straight ahead at the board, all the way up, and then all the way back down. With this, we are looking for about 4 to 6 reps, but they are able to rest in between, so they can get a little bit more reps on that one. That's fine. And if they have to do a couple reps and take a break, then do a couple reps and take a break, that's great. That's totally fine. Just try to challenge them to get about 4 to 6, maybe 7 reps at this one. We do have a modification as well. If someone has trouble with this, what we can do is straight arm band pull downs. So bands here, arms are straight out in front of us, pulling all the way down, and then back up, all the way down, and back up. Again, that would be only if they have trouble with this. Usually if they're a little bit heavier or they just cannot, they're not quite as strong enough to get it out enough reps, you can modify them for this movement. With this, just keep the arms straight the whole time, and then we don't want to be swinging. All right, so we just want them here, straight down and back up. All right. So don't be afraid to modify people if we need to, but do try to challenge them to do this movement if they can. Then the next station, the last one we have, is going to be body saw. So for this, what we're going to do, we're going to have pads and sliders out. We are going to be on our arms on the pad, toes are going to be on the sliders. To teach people to get in position, what we want to do, get them on the sliders first, then go down just so they get their toes right in the middle of the sliders there. We're going to have our forearms on the pad, and then we're going to be in a plank position. Now, the hardest version we have, we want to try to get everyone to do this, is going to be with sliders. So, all we're doing, sliding back, and forward, back, and forward. When we do this, biggest thing to look out for, make sure we're not doing this with our hips. Our hips are not coming up, and we also want to make sure we aren't resting on our arms. So, not going like this, and then resting on our arms. What we want is to be right above our arms, and then pushing back farther, and then back over, right? So don't let them rest on their arms yet. Now, if they have trouble with sliders, if that's a little bit too tough, we can do this from our, without sliders on our toes. So for that, we're just gonna be here. Ankles are gonna be moving forward and back. Not quite as challenging, but still working on that core stability there. And then, if they have trouble with that, we can also just go plunge planks, so still working on that stability. A little bit easier. Here, just touching our opposite shoulder if they need to work on that stability a little bit if they aren't quite ready for the body saw. So you try to challenge them, try to get them to do either version of the body saw if they can, otherwise we can modify them if we need to. And that is going to be the workout for Saturday face wall.